Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And we have some very sad news for you today. This is another reaction to Secret Invasion, a show on Disney+.
Yeah, I'm devastated.
I am actually very sad. If you haven't seen episode 1, go do that first.
Oh, well, yeah.
But okay. I am actually sad. I am Maria Hill, Secret Agent, S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Maria Hill, Colby Smulders, Robin Scherbatsky, Robin Sparkles has died in the show, not in real life. I realize that by making it like Colby Smulders, she's probably fine.
Oh, I'm sure she's fine.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, rich, and incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Colby Smulders is going to be okay.
Yeah. But they kind of just were like, yeah, we don't need her. I don't know. Her death was kind of like, wait, really?
Hear me out. I think we are done with Maria Hill the human. Not done with Maria Hill, the name and the character. I think that the end of... Big, bold prediction time.
Okay.
I don't think Emilia Clarke is signed on to do 1 million of these. I think Gaia, the Skrull, takes over Maria Hill and becomes the Maria Hill of the universe moving forward. So Maria Hill still exists, but it is now Gaia, Talos' daughter.
Yeah, that would be really fucking weird.
I think she has a turn for the good at the end of the show, and then joins S.H.I.E.L.D. as Maria Hill.
So she steals a woman's identity.
Yeah, that's what the Skrulls do. That's like their whole thing. That's what the show's about.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that and be a good guy.
But in Far From Home, or not Far From Home, which is the movie where or what maybe it was a TV show. God, the whole MCU blends together in my brain.
Yeah.
Fury and Maria Hill in that were Skrulls. So we've already had Skrull Maria Hill in the MCU.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
I don't. I think that, as long I don't know that Maria Hill has like a partner she'd be like lying to about it, right? I think she'd just be being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent helping Earth as a Skrull Maria Hill.
Why as Maria Hill then?
Because it gets her in places. You know what I mean? It gets her contacts and secret agent stuff.
I don't like it. I hope that doesn't happen.
All right. Well, we're at odds, and we're going to fight about it. If you want the full reaction to episode 2 of Secret Invasion, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. And if you have any bold predictions, keep them to yourself or put them in the comments down below where they belong. Let's get into this. All right. Is this episode going back in time?
Okay.
We've been there. Oh, we're going to get the answer to why they came back.
I think so.
We could use someone like him.
He's a child.
Only to human eyes.
The Skrull makeup looks incredible.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it, to be honest.
While you work to keep my home safe, Carol Danvers and I will find you a new one. Who'll be first to take the pledge?
Yeah.
Thank you, Soren.
That makes more sense. The frustration stemming from the fact that there were promises made.
Yeah.
And that they asked them to work for them.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this had come out as part of, maybe they'd done 1 and 2 together.
Dropped them on the same day.
This scene feels so important to the setup of the show that I'm surprised it's not in the pilot.
Yeah.
Although I guess maybe they wanted the pilot to put you more on the edge of what's going on.
You keep your word, I'll keep mine.
It's such a dumb promise to make, though, right?
Because you can't promise that it will work.
How could you know? You barely have space travel.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, and it relies on
Captain
a
Marvel.
woman that for the entire time you knew her doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, and
sticking with her promise when she gets her memories back.
What's going on? Yeah.
For all Fury knows, she gets all of her memories back and hates Skrulls just as much as everyone else in the Kree.
Yeah, maybe.
AWOL American spy Nick Fury found at site of bombing in Russia.
Yep.
It's not a good look.
Yep.
Let's go Talos.
Is it Talos?
That face, yeah.
Well, that face is.
I'm assuming that scene is saying that Ben Mendelsohn that Talos gets Nick Fury out of this.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that's the fun of the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. That scene, yeah, that scene frames so much of the show much better. I still don't understand why they came back to Earth. Because even in the, like, previously on, these fuckers left. Okay, why are they here?
Well, it was like they left.
Yeah, and then 2 years later they came back.
Half of them, like, died. And they were like, well, at least on Earth we weren't being, like, murdered.
What do you mean half of them died?
They said, like, you lost and you found only violence, hostility, whatever it was. All of you lost somebody. Some of you lost everybody.
I thought that was talking about the Kree War before.
Oh, I thought they left and they were, like...
Hey, we won a review.
We won?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It doesn't matter now because the videos that it's gotten, the Expanse video for Monday was limited in its reach. And so I... appealed and was like,
what
hey.
the fuck, why? And they were like, just kidding. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that to me made it sound like they left and people murdered them for it. And so they came back here.
Yeah, maybe. After watching The Expanse, 2 years of space travel just doesn't seem like it would get you very far.
Well, that is The Expanse.
I know. I just like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand Gravik being like, look, we worked to save this planet on a promise that you would find us a home. You didn't find us a home, so we might as well make the planet that we've been working for ours. I don't think it's right. Like, I'm not, like, on his side. I just mean, I can understand where that comes from.
Yeah.
Чернокожий, американец. В поезде Москва-Варшава. Здесь больше шансов встретить инопланетянина.
Says the alien.
Yeah.
They've gone.
Where did Nick Fury pick up this dapper outfit?
I don't know.
Before we get out of town, I know I'm wanted, but I gotta look sick.
Tell me something I don't know about you and Susie.
Me and Susie had a standing game of doctor. Suffice it to say, I wasn't about to tell her about that.
Me and Susie saw a bullfrog with polka dots. My mama just smiled.
I like the idea that Talos is like, what's a bullfrog?
He's been around for a few years. He might know what a bullfrog is.
You're telling me there's 1 million Skrulls walking amongst us right now? Have you lost your reptilian-ass mind?
Skrulls and humans can coexist here on Earth.
Humans can't coexist with each other, Talos! There's not enough room or tolerance on this planet for another species!
Except the Asgardians, which we're chill with.
Which is fine.
Because they lived for 2,000 years and we can't kill them anyway.
Are the other passengers on the train going to be like, yeah, actually I heard an American accent yelling in one of the compartments?
No, I don't think Russians snitch. I think that's a cultural thing.
Sure.
Their
How
chemistry
did
together
they-
is so good, and I understand why they wanted to do a show about these two.
Oh, for sure.
Like, when you have two actors who can have a scene like that, and it's just that riveting,
Yeah.
just because they're just sincere acting,
They're just
like,
in the
on
moment.
that level,
Yeah.
it's really good.
I don't understand how the
Oh, they got Maria Hill's body back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I really don't understand how 1 million Skrulls showed up and there wasn't like a suspicious population boom.
1 million is not that many. It's really not that many people. Globally, if you show up in one spot, 1 million people's a lot. If you show up across the globe in different places, 1 million's not that many.
I don't believe that.
I mean, it's not that many people.
Like, did they forge papers for everybody? Like, where, like...
They can shapeshift. What papers do they need?
Well, they, like...
They can become anyone they see.
Okay, how do they get an apartment or a credit card or,
They
like...
live in abandoned nuclear silos.
Some of them?
I don't know.
Were
How
you
did he
there?
get home?
Good question. The train.
He took the train from Moscow to Washington.
You're Nick Fury. Maria believed in you. She would have followed you to the gates of hell and back.
She Kind of did. I don't think Maria Hill's going to heaven.
What Maria died for out there. But whatever it was, don't let it be for nothing.
I'm digging the casting on the show.
Yeah.
They're finding great people for these smaller parts.
For what the Kremlin regards as an all-out declaration of war by the Americans.
They're all saying we had something to do with Moscow. What I call bull on. The Moscow attack was committed by Americans. This has got false flag written all over it.
Even if it was, Moscow's not going to retaliate against the American government because of the actions of a fringe political group online.
Yeah, if that were the case, we'd all have killed ourselves like years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
No, we would do it. America did it against the Middle East, but we weren't competing superpowers. You know what I mean?
Well.
And Moscow can't attack the States. The Avengers will stop them. The Avengers are kind of American. Not a lot of Eastern superpowers, you know what I mean, in this world?
Yeah, there's only a couple that are not American.
No.
I'm not out in an hour. Shoot him in the head.
I like Gravik. He's so chill.
Like
Seems someone didn't get the suggested attire memo.
Interesting.
I trust I speak for the group when I say we are all happy to have you with us. Please, sit.
Fox News makes so much more sense.
Democracy is fine for peacetime, but whilst at war, we need a single commander whose war power is total and unchecked.
My God.
Therefore, I nominate Gravik.
Oh, wow.
I can mobilize 1 million troops at this never...
I'm surprised they're talking about, like, humans destroying their own home, because I thought the whole point of Tony Stark's clean energy tech was that climate change wasn't going to be a problem in the MCU. Or have they, like, dropped the whole... All right.
Wait, why are they doing that? Don't they have to keep their forms?
No, they can
for them
switch
to be
back.
less detectable. That's the point. Emilia Clarke was like,
I know,
you can't walk around.
I think it's more like you have to live in that skin the majority of the time, but I don't think you can never change back.
That's what it sounded like.
I will not support your war. And I do not submit.
That's a banger line.
Yeah, like I don't think global warming has ever come up as an issue.
Well, it was, and that was the whole thing behind Tony Stark building the clean energy stuff. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like he kind of just fixed the problem.
But Tony Stark's dead now, so who knows? Also, like he's like, what if the Avengers return? And I'm like, hasn't Scott Lang been on like every podcast?
Yeah, they're not all gone.
I don't know.
And everybody's like, I have a plan for that. I'm like, what? Pray tell.
One of the Avengers is going to be a Skrull.
But even
Ooh,
if,
news travels fast.
Even if a Skrull is disguised as like Thor, he doesn't get Thor's power. He's not the same person.
Don't worry about it.
What?
There's a Super Skrull. Don't worry about it. It's a comics thing. No, but in the comics, the comic version of this is so different, and is about the Avengers. Okay. Specifically about Skrulls being Avengers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I
Not
don't
specifically,
understand how that's possible. Like Scarlet Witch can't
really
be a Skrull.
cool.
Black Widow could.
Yes.
Black Widow and Hawkeye and
Captain America.
Well,
Winter Soldier, Falcon, Ant-Man, Tony Stark.
No, Winter Soldier can't because he's got the arm. Bucky's got that arm.
Yeah, but they can make clothes.
Clothes?
I mean, if they can make clothes, they can make their arm look like the Winter Soldier's arm. If you shot it, you would be like, oh, that's not the Winter Soldier's arm, but they can make it look like that.
They can just make it look like
they can make
like
clothes.
vibranium. They have vibranium?
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know that vibranium looks like anything. Like his arm just looks like painted metal, right? They couldn't make their skin as durable, but they could make it look like that. Yeah.
It's back to scavenging. Our DNA selection remains extremely limited.
I'll send out to
Ooh, what are you guys building?
anything else, Dr. Dalton.
Yes. Your absence.
She's only hidden from one camera angle. There are 4 people on that side of the room that can see her.
Yeah, those pillars are not wide enough.
What do you think? Is that a terraforming project?
To make...
Earth more like Skrullos?
Well, I don't know what Skrullos is like, so
That's fair.
I don't know. But no, I think it's some kind of radiation thing to kill all the humans, but the Skrulls survive because they can survive radiation.
Respectfully, Prime Minister, I can't take the authenticity of Russian-supplied photos at face value. However, I will be more than happy to have them analyzed at our facilities at Langley. Alleged presence, madam.
I want Fear to walk in and just be like, nah, I was there.
If me one more time, I'm gonna put on the suit and carpet bomb it.
Why are you here, Colonel?
Is that a terrorist act?
It would be. He's joking. It's a joke.
Seems like a very jokey situation.
You feel a little on edge towards the show today.
It's not working for me.
Okay.
Pretty expensive for a government salary.
Yeah, well, my other suit's made of titanium, so this actually constitutes considerable savings. Do me a favor and try not to pop off a nuclear holocaust before you get there.
They're just all treating this situation as though it's not that serious, and I don't appreciate that.
What do you mean?
The jokes that they're making?
They literally fought Thanos. Like, for them, this it isn't as big a deal to them.
Oh, so half the population died and came back, but if half the population or the full population dies again, it doesn't matter because it already happened once.
They don't know that there's a threat that size yet. Rhodey doesn't know that yet. All Rhodey knows is what happened in Moscow. You're judging him for something that,
and
like,
2,000
he doesn't know.
People died.
That's pretty common in his line of work.
I just wouldn't be making, like, terrorist jokes on the floor. Like...
That's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's true. And here's the crazy part. We're being invaded, and we can't even tell who the invaders are.
Fury never told anyone.
The enemy is 1,000,000 times more dangerous than Hydra, but they can only be vanquished by you, alone. We wrestled this power from mediocre men who don't look like us, was not simply to turn around and hand it to mediocre men who do.
Rhodey!
Hey, is it you to fire me?
Nobody sent me. I volunteered. But that mess that you created in Moscow that resulted in getting one of our best people murdered, you earned all this smoke, brother.
Yeah.
And you wonder why you're out.
I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out, I'm in.
That might have been the most Nick Fury moment Samuel Jackson's ever gotten to play in any of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was a perfect scene from the comics played out in live action.
Oh, yeah?
Not like dialogue from a comic exactly, but
Sure.
The vibe of who Nick Fury has always been to me. The MCU version has always been very like, it's about the Avengers, and so Nick Fury has to be this like stoic figure.
Yeah.
But Spy Nick Fury doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so I love that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're so out on the show, because I'm so much more in episode 2 than I was in episode 1. I think this is such a vast improvement over the first episode, and it seems like you're like not enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like sticking for me.
That's fair.
Didn't your mother ever warn you could lose an eye by beating your meat like that?
I love her.
Make yourself scarce.
I love the coat hung next to the meat. I think that's very funny. Didn't like the joke until the cut to Olivia Colman rolling her eyes. Then I loved the joke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break every bone in your body.
The other way it is. Well, now that's confirmed.
Disney Plus. See, there is a test to find out if people are Skrulls.
Yeah. Groot.
Yeah, different alien species.
Yeah.
But everyone talks when their blood starts to cook at 160 degrees centigrade. The smart ones start talking earlier than that. You a smart one? Right, no, I didn't think so.
Jesus.
I'm glad she's on the good side.
The good side.
Yeah. Question mark?
I need to know where Gravik is and where he'll be.
Wow, that special effect is very effective.
He's building a machine.
What kind of machine?
I think it's to make us stronger.
They're gonna make the Super Skrull! Let's go!
Gravik will kill me.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but if I don't get a name, Gravik won't get the chance to kill you.
She is so good in this role.
I know. I know.
Принеси мне колбасы. Давай, иди. Быстрее.
It's hard to be intimidating in a turtleneck. That was impressive. Like Samuel Jackson can pull it off, but... That was a great shot!
Holy shit.
I do like Gravik's, like, attack uniform.
Yeah. It's slick.
He's like, I must be tailored perfectly to my body.
Yeah.
You're a smart lady, Daya.
You're my smart lady. What's up, Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, right?
I would have covered up the getaway hatch just a little bit, you know? Make them look for it. Well, they can't just leave his body there, right? They're trying to hide that there are Skrulls around. I wouldn't leave like just a like green alien body
Yeah,
in the
probably
woods.
not.
Did we make it home, Peyton?
Almost there, bro.
He didn't tell them where the safe house was, though, so I don't know why they're suspicious of him. Like, they went in to, like, rescue him.
Yeah, before he said anything, right? I don't think that Gravik believes. Also, if they can't save his life, bringing him back...
Why wouldn't they be able to save him?
Because they don't know what he was injected with. Right? There might not be a cure, right? But what are they going to do? Drive his corpse past all the children that play in the fields around their base? Like,
Probably better than leaving it for someone to find.
oh, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. Did Nick Fury marry a Skrull?
Better?
Almost.
Interesting.
So he left Earth to run away from her?
She might have gone with him. We don't know.
On the spaceship?
We don't know, right? We don't know what was going on up there. But they were working together in 97, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah, I recognize the person.
Interesting. What a twist! What a little twist!
Yeah. I don't really know what that means for the show. Because he's like, Skrulls and humans can't live together. That's what he told.
No, I think that he's saying like 1 million Skrulls are not going to be able to live on Earth because humanity is bad in like towards each other. Like I understand what he's saying with that. In that, like, if it comes out that there's 1 million Skrulls living among humans, the humanity will not react well to that. That there's shape-shifting aliens among us that can look like anybody, humanity would freak the fuck out. Are you kidding me? Look at how much people freak out about like lies, like just straight up dumb shit that people post on Twitter that people lose their minds over.
Yeah.
That isn't even true. And this would be like a fact. My thing with the fact that there's 1 million Skrulls on Earth that I think is kind of insane is that enough of them would die accidentally. Just living their lives.
Hit by a car.
Where you would have a sudden uprising. I disagree with you that a million Skrulls showing up over the course of 30 years would be a significant population jump. I don't understand your thinking with that.
Well, but it wouldn't be like slowly individually over the course of 30 years. They would show up in groups.
Yeah, in like ships, but like Talos' ship only had like 40 people on it, right? So
how are the ships then?
That is a good question. They might be in orbit because we know that they can stay in orbit.
Invisible?
Yeah, that happened in Captain Marvel, so we have to assume that can be a thing.
I just think if there was like even 100 ships out there, you'd like accidentally bump into one.
No. Do you know how much crap is floating around Earth right now? Like the amount of space debris that floats around Earth at all times is insane, and yet we can still take off without hitting anyone.
Sure. I just mean if it's invisible, someone would accidentally hit it.
True. I hear what you're saying, but in Captain Marvel, they had to like find the hidden spaceship because it was so invisible that like they had to know the exact coordinates of it to get to it.
Right.
So I don't think it's that preposterous. I do think though that over the course of 30 years, you would have enough green bodies showing up in morgues.
Yeah.
Because they're like just leaving their dead in the woods.
Yeah.
And so like people would be finding dead Skrulls places.
Yeah.
And be like, this is weird. This human was an alien.
Yeah, like from accidents or from disease or something.
Yeah, this shit happens, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the Skrulls that came from Skrulls would be older.
Yeah.
But that aside, this episode of the show was such a step forward for me, just in terms of like a couple of understanding things where I'm like, okay, I kind of understand the rules of the show now. I understand what we're going for, and I'm much more intrigued by Gravik than I previously was. Knowing that him and Fury have this connection going back to when Gravik was a kid does a lot. He's not just some guy that like got radicalized because he was mad.
Yeah.
He spent his whole life working for this man and being consistently let down by this man. And I can like feel more empathetic towards the villain now.
Yeah.
Even though I vastly disagree with his actions and what he's doing, and I don't think he's right. I'm like, I can get on board with the mentality of him and be more interested in him, because it's not just like a 22-year-old went to college and came back radicalized after one semester and is like, you know what I mean? Which is sort of what the Flag Smashers sort of felt like, was like, oh, the blip was bad, so now we're terrorists. And you're like, okay, well, can we like learn anything about those characters to understand what's really going on with them?
Yeah.
And I think that that's where Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of misstepped with its villains, was having them just be sort of, we're mad about the blip and so we're terrorists now.
Yeah.
And the show just never took time to get into their psyche. It never really gave them the room to breathe as characters so that we could be fully invested in their reasoning. Whereas I feel like in this show, in one episode, they did more with Gravik and setting up why the Skrulls are doing what they're doing than that show did in all of its episodes, because it had so much work to do with the whole Falcon becoming Captain America thing.
Yeah, there's just something that's like not clicking for me.
That's
like
fair.
I like things are not adding up. Like if there are 1 million Skrulls,
yeah.
Let's say like very conservatively there's 1,000 ships, right?
Sure.
There's like 1,000 ships, and they are not working with Nick Fury to try and find themselves a place. Like, they were like, yeah, no, you take care of it, even though we're the ones with the spacefaring technology and we're the ones with the actual means to, like, explore space. But no, you're gonna do it, you and Captain Marvel, even though Captain Marvel is a very busy woman. Like, there are, like problems in the galaxy that, like, are life and death, where I can see, like, the Skrull needing a new home. That kind of gets, like, pushed back depending on, like, what's happening in the world. But the Skrulls aren't working with Nick Fury to make sure that they get a home that's suitable for them. Like, because Nick Fury would need to be working very closely with the Skrulls to find...
I mean, he married one.
But I mean, like, that connection was only with one person. Like, he should be working with all of them as a whole. And now, granted, Talos brought, like, 1 million without telling him. But the people that have worked with Nick Fury, like, they should be part of this whole procedure. Like, they would need scientists to be like, yes, we can live on this place. Yes, we can make this work. They would need doctors to be like, yeah, like, there's nothing poisonous here. Like, there's no diseases that are going to absolutely eradicate us as soon as we land. Like, there's just, like, so many things that would need to go into finding them a new home, and it's like Nick Fury's only working with like 2 of them.
I think I think my problem with it, even more so than that, is that yes, Nick Fury now, since 2000 and let's say 2012, I guess, in this world,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Has had the technology to go into space, but they worked together for like 15 years with Nick Fury not being able to help at all.
Well,
Like,
but
what-
there were Skrull ships, so they
no,
should
but
be
the
able
Skrulls,
to...
but I'm saying the Skrulls could have.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like,
But yeah, Nick Fury
1997 Earth does not have
We like barely
any way to
went
help.
to the moon.
We didn't barely go to the moon. We went to the moon in 1969.
Yeah, that's only a few years before. That's what I'm saying.
30 years is not a few
No,
years.
from the 70s? Like,
no, 1997.
1997. Was
Not
that
1970. Yeah.
Sorry, I got them like flipped in my head.
No, Captain Marvel takes place in 95.
95. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure,
Nick Fury
sure.
is not.
Sorry, I
1,000 years
misspoke. We've been to the moon several times. That's fine.
old.
But like,
a couple, but.
it, you know, it wasn't
My
just
point
us.
is
I
that
just mean, like, people around the
1997,
world.
Nick Fury did not have the technology to find a planet
find
for
them
them.
a planet. That's what I'm
We
saying.
we don't have that
He-
technology now.
No.
We are still trying to find one inhabitable planet.
No, and he made this promise
Yeah.
about Captain Marvel, and she's not even there for that. Like, did he talk to her about it first? I really don't know.
Well, but that goes into the setup for the show from episode 1 didn't work for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I said that. I'm enjoying the spycraft of this. I'm enjoying the performances, right? I think what
Yeah,
is really
yeah.
working for me is the chemistry of the actors on screen right now is so strong
Yeah.
that I'm enjoying the show. I think the show doesn't work.
I'm enjoying
And those aren't the same thing.
scenes. I'm not enjoying the show.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
another way to put what I'm saying. I think like fundamentally the idea that the Skrulls with the spacefaring species turned to a human man who'd never been to space at this point and said, "You're going to be the guy to find us a planet," despite
Yeah.
the fact that you don't have any way to do that besides Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I need them to show me what happened between Captain Marvel and the Skrulls.
Yeah.
Because she flew off with that ship at the end. I need to know what happened between them.
Yeah.
Because what was she doing?
Yeah, the promise should have been like Nick Fury's like, I'm going to help you guys find the planet because I can't go to space. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can, and so let's work together. And instead Nick Fury was like, nah, baby girl, I'm going to take care of it. And then didn't like pull through. It was like, okay.
Because it makes Nick Fury seem...
Stupid?
No. It does make him seem stupid. It makes him seem manipulative. It makes him seem like he was in the wrong. In like a... Because he knew that he can't travel through space, right? So when he's having all of these people sign up to be spies for him, children, he is doing that with the knowledge that like
he can't
do
provide.
it. He can't, like, maybe Captain Marvel can provide the other half of the offer, but Nick Fury can't.
It just doesn't feel like Nick Fury to me. And
It might not be.
And it might not be, but the person who made the promise to the Skrulls has to have been Nick Fury.
Why?
Well, unless like Nick Fury was taken out sometime in Captain Marvel.
He's been a Skrull the whole time. That would be a twist.
Like, okay.
He always was and always will be a Skrull.
I just don't really see what's interesting about that.
Other than the moment of the reveal.
Yeah.
It's a good reveal, and then the questions that spiral
And then
out
it's
from
like,
it.
okay, whoa. Yeah, there's things that then just don't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's like you said, the actors are great, scenes are great. There's things inside this that I think are interesting and fun, but it seems like they're trying to go with a concept that doesn't work in the Marvel universe that we already know. Like, it's like they had a good idea for a show. And I know that this is like a comic book thing, and so I know that this isn't true, but it feels like they were like, we have this cool idea for a show, we're going to fit it into...
This is nothing to do with a comic.
Sure, I just mean like this like secret invasion, like the Skrulls hide, like there are some similarities. It just feels like they had a cool idea for a show and they put the Marvel like tag on it, even though it doesn't work within the Marvel universe.
So the problem with this that doesn't exist in the comic series is that Captain Marvel, the movie... The twist of Captain Marvel is that the Skrulls weren't the bad guys.
Yeah.
Because the Skrulls are always the bad guys in the comics. Like, almost universally the bad guys.
Oh.
And so when Secret Invasion happens, there isn't the weird element of trying to explain what happened in the 30-year period where all of the Avengers shit has happened to justify what's happened with the Skrulls and why they were there the whole time, but Nick Fury never brings them up to anybody. the comic series didn't have to do all of this legwork of explaining what has changed. Like, in order to make the Skrulls the bad guys, this show has to make the Skrulls the bad guys narratively. Whereas the comics were like, those Skrulls that they fought in space that one time?
Yeah.
Well, now they're on Earth. And so the surprise of that was really fun.
Yeah.
This show is in this weird position of having to like tell this story that I think just like doesn't line up with the reality of Nick Fury's world for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, those elements of the show don't work for me. I think the spycraft stuff does. It's in service of something that I think is a little... I agree with you. Like, I think that there's definitely an overarching issue with the show.
Yeah.
That, like bringing up the clean energy stuff. And I'm like, if you want to make a climate change parallel in this world, you have to come up with a reason why there's a climate change problem, because we know there isn't.
Yeah.
We already did the Tony Stark fix that arc. Like, we've been there and we've done that. That was what Iron Man 1 through 3 is kind of about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, like, if you are going to make a show in this universe, if you're going to have Nick Fury in it, you have to be extra careful, because Nick Fury is the one character who has touched more properties in this world than any other character.
Yeah.
And so he is just intrinsically more tied into the other events of the MCU.
Yeah.
And carries the baggage of those properties. Nick Fury is in the movie where Tony Stark builds clean energy, right? We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
And we know that like that was Tony Stark's goal was to proliferate that, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're going to use Nick Fury, you have to be careful about Nick Fury's history with the MCU.
Yeah.
And this show's kind of doing what I was a little bit worried about, which was we're going to have him in Captain Marvel, and then we're going to say that all of this stuff happened behind the scenes of all these other things that happened, but we don't have context for all the behind the scenes stuff. We only have the front facing stuff.
Yeah.
And what you're saying happened is a little bit weird with what we know happened.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it, right? Like, and it is the bloat of the MCU weighing down, I think, some of the elements of the show, where I'm like, you can't keep saying like we don't allow other species on Earth when New Asgard is there. Like, we know that isn't true. And yes, these are shapeshifters, and yes, that is a difference.
Yeah.
But then your show has to mention that difference. You can't just make a statement like there's no room for other species on Earth. And I'm like, but there is.
Yeah.
Because we know that they exist. Like, we've already done this.
Yeah.
And they have a fucking ice cream store that's based on the Snap, right? And so, which is maybe in bad taste. Not my favorite joke from Love and Thunder. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that element. I think the overarching the show still has not done enough to set up why the show is happening.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that the acting and the cinematography are really good. I really like the action sequence in the meat locker. It felt very grounded, but I could also still tell that the Skrulls were stronger than the humans physically. And so I think that they showed the like super strength of the Skrulls in that scene really well and effectively. I liked that a lot. Olivia Colman in the freezer was fantastic. I thought her acting in this episode was really excellent.
She's
the train sequence between Fury and Talos, and then the dinner or the whiskey scene between Rhodey and Fury, really just like the chemistry between them crackling.
So does that mean his wife has been lying to him about how many Skrulls are there as well?
She might not know. She might be not. She seems to be very secluded.
Maybe.
I don't think they're like telepathic.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I just like, I don't know. I don't really understand what her role is or what that's going to be or how she is connected. So like it's hard for me to know. Like I'm curious like what she knows, what she's privy to.
I think that's what we'll find out next episode, right?
For sure. I just don't really know how she fits into the puzzle. Yeah.
That's fair. I think it's an interesting choice to have Nick Fury be married at all, right? Because he's clearly been married the whole time.
I also don't really understand why, and I'm blanking on his name, is so suspicious of Amelia Clark.
Gravik?
Gravik, yeah.
Because she's a terrible spy, but she's spying on her own people for... I understand why he's suspicious of her more than I understand why she betrayed Talos, her dad, at the end of the last episode, but is still... like being very suspicious
about something. I don't know.
I don't really understand I don't understand the circles of trust within the Skrulls right now.
Yeah, like
and
she seems surprised that her mom is dead, and he's like, yeah, you should ask the people you work for. But she doesn't really seem to be like that. But then he like mentioned her mom in the first episode. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was like, oh, maybe she did know. Like, I'm really very confused about what she's trying to accomplish.
Well,
right
and
now.
the lab scene doesn't help the show.
No, and then
Because
being on the
I
computer
understand-
and looking at the different alien species.
But no, because the alien species are superpowers that they want to fuse into the Super Skrull. In the comics, the Super
I
Skrull.
just thought it was like a list of aliens. I was like,
No,
cool.
they're so like the Super Skrull is a Fantastic Four villain who
Oh.
absorbs the powers of the four Fantastic Four and has
Oh.
all the powers of all of them. It's
Cool.
he's great. I really like Super Skrull. It's super goofy comics nonsense. Great villain. For comics,
enough.
I don't know how he'll work in live action. I hope he works. I hope they nail it. But also like the Fantastic Four don't exist yet, so I hope this is
Yeah.
actually set up for the Fantastic Four movie. That would be cool. No, my issue with that scene is that I understand that if you put the camera in a very specific spot in that room,
Then she's hidden. I know.
But none of the characters in the room were where the camera was.
I know.
And so they could all just see her.
Yeah.
And it's lit. It's not even like she's in a shadow.
No.
It's lit enough that the camera can see her across the room. And they're like, she's being sneaky. And I'm like, no,
not
there's
really being
3 people in the room who can go, hey, Gaia, what are you doing in here?
Yeah.
And like that's
weird.
I say I like the spy work. I liked most of the spy work. That scene was not great.
No.
If you have to put your camera in a specific shot to make something look sneaky, it just isn't sneaky.
No, God, no.
Like
no, yeah.
that was not my favorite. I enjoy watching the show. I don't know that I think that it can be something that I love if the future explanation, like, because here's the thing, I don't dislike the explanations we have for things.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I really don't understand why there's a problem still.
Yeah.
And I need to know what happened with Captain Marvel to understand why this show is happening.
Yeah.
Because Captain Marvel shows up in Endgame and isn't like, oh man, still looking for the Skrull home. So so what happened in between, right? She does not seem to be worried about that. The Marvels trailer does not make it seem like Captain Marvel is worried about the Skrulls.
No.
There's no Skrulls in it. So what happened? Why did she stop doing this? And I don't think the show will truly work unless that explanation works. But once we get that explanation, if that works, all of this could click into place.
Sure.
It's just like this show is weirdly missing the context for why the show's happening.
Yeah.
And so the scenes are good, but I keep going back to like, it's been 30 years. Like why is there a problem? I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I hope that we get something that's satisfactory, but we have to get something that's satisfactory that works with the bloat of the MCU. And I think that that's a really tough thing to do.
Yes.
And I almost wish they'd made it just a different choice where they do have a new home and the next generation of Skrulls decided to attack Earth or something, right? The Skrulls there was schism in the Skrulls, and Talos and his Skrulls live on this new Skrullos, and they're coming back to Earth to help save them from the other faction that has always been more warmongering.
Yeah.
Right? So, something like that would work more than this weird nebulous, like, we promised that we would find you a planet, despite the fact that one of us can go to space and the other literally can't do anything to help you. And that other one did something, like, okay.
Yeah. I still don't understand that. But
yeah, and so that's just
we'll
kind of, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. The show, like, there's still time for some answers. Even if we get them later, I don't know if this show will ever be my favorite or if I'll love the pacing of it. But like,
that is fair. The pacing is wonky.
It is very strange, and so we're just gonna have to see. I don't know. I'm trying not to make any like judgments on it. Like, I'm not like, this is like bad in a sense. It's just not working. Like, it's just that like. I'm not feeling it.
I would give the first episode a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
And I would give this like a 7.75. Do you think that that's a fair ranking, or would you go lower?
For me, the show's sitting at like 6 because it's.
Did you like this episode more than the first one?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
No. Like I said, I love scenes, and there were more scenes in it that I love, but the show as a whole is not clicking for me.
Yeah. I just want one Skrull in 1997 to be like, wait, how are you going to help us?
How? Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, you guys
Maybe
don't have
we'll get
space
that-
travel. What the fuck are you going to do?
Maybe we'll get that scene next week.
Yeah, maybe. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god, she's hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is Amelia Clarke, because it's always Amelia Clarke. Amelia Clarke is a goddess walking among us.
That's true. We do not deserve Amelia Clarke.
We do not deserve Amelia Clarke, but Amelia Clarke deserves better projects. What? Have you seen Terminator Genesis?
No.
Genesis?
No, I did
not.
not.
Oh my God. She's great, but God, that movie. Or is that the one she's in?
She's in some Terminator thing. I remember that.
There's like 3 bad Terminators in a row, and she's in the middle one. And she's great. The movie just doesn't work, unfortunately. And like, yeah, it's unfortunate.
She deserves the
She's
world.
in like everything though. Kira in Solo, she's phenomenal. And like, I like Solo a lot. I think that movie's actually great. But like, she's in every franchise. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They just need to put her in the next Transformers, and she'll literally like be collecting. She is the Thanos of the. It's her and Zoe Saldana slowly collecting the nerd franchises.
We got to put her in Star Trek.
I would watch the out of a new Star Trek movie series where Amelia Clarke is the captain.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I would.
That would actually be great.
Right?
She would be so good as either like the captain or the like Spock. Like the first not lieutenant. What are they called? The What is Spock's
I don't know. Acting captain.
I would love to see her in the like more active role. Like if you had like an older captain.
Yeah.
Maybe like an alien captain who's not as like physically limber, and so Amelia Clarke is the one handling kind of the like the ground mission for the movie, and that could be very fun.
Yeah.
I just love her.
I love her too.
If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
As always, y'all, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.
Bye.